working with these two zones. So all what we need to see is price to break these zones, give us a retest on the lower time frame, maybe the 1 hour, the 15 minute, the 4 hour time frame. Then we should be targeting our first levels, which is the $98 or the 98 points. Then we can be going all the way to the 98.
Hey babes, at my FX right here. Welcome back to our weekly market forecast. So this is the usual weekly market forecast for the 12th to the 16th of January, which is the second trading week for the month of January 2026. By the way, happy new month and happy new year, peeps. So for those of you that's joining us for the first time, we normally drop our weekly market forecast, deciphering the market directional bias for the next 7 trading or 5 trading days in which we would be happening. So if this is the kind of content you like, please do to smash the subscribe button, drop some fire emoji on the comment section, and let's get into the business of the day. So without further ado, let's get started. So we'll be starting off with GBP USD. So GBP USD, we are going to start from what the last week had for us. So we are going to look at the 4 hour time frame. So looking at the 4 hour time frame, we had price open somewhere around here. I think we had price open somewhere around here, all right, as at last week, and price gave us more like a buy to sell scenario. So we only had a bullish Monday for last week, and price went back to these zones, which was around this resistance here, and started selling. Okay, so but overall we had more of a dominant bearish market for last week, which also took some trades which we did, and but price actually wicked us out in between before going towards our direction. Okay, so moving forward, let's check the weekly time frame, how price actually closed for last week, which is very important so that we can have a directional bias for the coming week. So remember, so here we are on the weekly time frame. So here on the weekly time frame, price looks more decent. Okay, we can see our clean head and shoulders from way back over past 6 or 7 months now. That head and shoulders is still holding. Why am I saying so? Because if we look left, you can see this head and shoulder, and this shoulder is where price is still reacting off, and we have had 2 weeks of bearishness from this area. So what could this mean? That price is targeting our next level, which is over 500 to 1,000 pips to the downside, which is the zones of the 1.32033, which is right about here, which is the support. Let's see how many pips that should be, okay, of price directional bias. So over, all right, let me calculate the total area from this my resistance here, almost 300 pips. So we have over 279 pips drop all the way to the downside. So there's so much room to the downside, in which we are still going to use it to our trading advantage to make money. So this is why it's very important to look at the higher time frame. So price most likely reacted from this daily and weekly AOI on the higher time frame. So let's go back to our hourly time frame to look for the best possible areas in which we can take our trade calls from. So what am I going to do right about now? So make this, yeah, so I'm going to mark out new area. So what are we looking for? This actually looks like a little pullback in which price has already given us, but I'm not really satisfied with what we are seeing here. But regardless, even though price has to start selling from here, it's justifiable. Okay, it's justifiable if price wishes to start selling from there. So this is another daily or minor area of interest, or daily area of interest. Okay, so next level target, we should be seeing price give us something like is a pullback, then price should be selling all the way to the downside. But already, regardless, we already have that pullback on the lower time frames, which is what you're seeing here, which is that green candle. Okay, so but price could give us a higher time frame pullbacks, which would match with this moving average. Okay, which will match with that moving average, and price diving down to 1.33517 all the way to the downside. Okay, so that is, and if price continues bearish, we should be seeing price hit all the way to 1.32949 to the downside. So what are we looking for? More like a pullback, then a drop all the way to the downside. Okay, so I won't be giving you guys bullish scenarios until price shows us otherwise. So we are still very much bearish on GBP USD, and mind you, any trade that we would be able to catch, okay, I personally and my mentees, we would be holding those trades for the longest of time. Okay, mind you, when the new week starts or when the new month starts, price mostly likes changing directional bias. Okay, that's why if you guys observed last week, I was analyzing just the DXY for you guys. Okay, I had to spend so much time to analyze just the DXY. Why is this so? Because if we can crack the directional bias of the DXY, all this space here, which is gold, GBP USD, Euro USD, USDJPY, and the rest, we would definitely be making money from them. Okay, so that's it for GBP USD. Up next is Euro USD. For Euro USD for last week, okay, or for the longest, for like 2 weeks now, price has been very much bearish. Okay, I've been having a meantime pullbacks or bearishness regardless on price. So we have been seeing price creating series of highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and so we will most likely be having a new lower high, then a new lower low being created for Euro USD. So let's see how the weekly time frame closed for last week before we moving forward. Okay, so looking at here on the weekly time frame, mind you, here on the weekly time frame, market structure wise, we look very much bullish. Okay, market structure wise, we still look very much bullish. So this could be a meantime pullback. Okay, this could be a meantime pullback in which we are looking for price to come all the way down to the downside. Okay, so let's see how many pips of moves that could be. Almost 500, let's say 500 pips drop on Euro USD. So I think Euro USD looks more ideal. Okay, we had almost 300 pips on GDP left. Okay, although we can still do more, almost 500 too, but I think Euro USD looks more cleaner. Okay, for more pips and more trade calls. Okay, so here we can see for the past 2 weeks, price has been bearish on Euro USD. We can see that face bearish and the second one. Okay, so price has been very much bearish. So let's go back to our 4-hour time frame so we could see the best levels or areas or zones in which we should be looking for our next trade possibility. Okay, so here, just like I said, price has been creating series of lows, highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So we should be having more like a new lower high before price drops. Okay, so what I would love to see is price to come to these zones. All right, these zones of between the 1.1690 and the 1.16744 to. Okay, so all what I need to see is price to give us a pullback, a meantime pullback, and that pullback too, looking left, this is an area of interest. Okay, price has been reacting off these zones several times, so we should be seeing price give us a pullback into these zones, and that zone would also match this 50 moving average in which price would be heading from, and we should be seeing price go all the way to the downsides. Okay, and mind you, why do you think price is still very much bearish? If you look deep inside here, this could be a divergence. Okay, what we're having price trying to form here, or let's check the daily time frame. All right, let's check the daily time frame. You guys will see, so we could have a cleaner chart. Okay, so let's pop up the divergence too. If we look deeply inside here, you see price is going up and price is coming down here. So this is also a good indication for price bearishness. I think I've shown you guys like 2-3 weeks ago. Okay, so these are also part of the average confirmations in which I use for my directional bias. So we are looking forward for price to come into these zones matching with my moving average. Then we can sell to 1.16082 or as deep as 1.15714 to the downsides. Okay, so that's it on Euro USD. Please do well to mark it out on your phone or your trading device. Up next is the DXY. So for the DXY, we got pata of them all. Okay, so if you guys can reminisce from last week, the DXY, I showed you guys these two zones in which we did marked out. Okay, so I was only interested if price breaks out of either to the upside or to the downsides. Remember, just like last week, I told you guys I'm favoring more of the upsides of things. Why is this so? Because price looks like it is showing us a bullish trajectory on the higher time frames. Okay, let's go to the weekly time frame so you guys could see what I'm saying. Okay, remember we have been looking for these buys for the longest. Remember, this also looks like a W pattern. Okay, the W pattern in which you guys call a double bottom. Okay, so this is more like price reacting off this neckline of these zones. Okay, so hence this were why one of those reasons in which I was looking for price bullishness, especially inclusively of seeing this bullish candle in which price closed from last week, from 2 weeks ago, which was around which was between the 31st to the 1st. Okay, so price closed 2 weeks ago with this bullish candle. Then I was more like anticipating more bullishness all the way to the upsides, and if this happens, we should be seeing price giving us something like a breakout, creating a new higher high, a break retest. Then our next target would be all the way to 102. Okay, and that is a lot of pips. This is why I say we project 500 to 1,000 pips into the futures. So right, so let's go back to the daily time frame. Let's see how price played out on the daily time frame. So daily time frame looks super clean. Price is very much bullish. So next target, we are targeting price to head to 9.0074. all right, so let's go to our 4-hour time frame. Let's look for the zones too on the 4-hour time frame. Remember, we as intraday traders or swing traders, we also look at the 4-hour time frame. You could start taking your trades from the 4-hour time frame. It's very much okay. All right, so here on the 4-hour time frames, I already have my previous zones in which were marked out from last week. So all what I just needed to do is to extend them across both. Okay, so extend them across board and extend them across board. Okay, so all what I need to see, let me take this previous one out. So for the coming weeks, we should be having more like a sell to buy scenarios. Okay, so this bearishness, this little bearishness could be just a pullback. Okay, this bearishness should be a pullback, a meantime pullback on the lower time frame or the high lower time frames or the hourly time frames, a pullback to the 98.469, then bullish continuations to 9.163 to the upsides. Then we can go even as high as the 9.804 to the upsides. Okay, so please do well to mark it out on your phone or your trading device. The last but not the least, USDJPY. So USDJPY was part of the trades in which we took last week. Funny enough, I don't know what really happened, but some days are like that. I had this trade, even though I had my stops somewhere around here. This is where I had to place that stops. Let me find a line. I had to place that stops just at the body of this candle, just like you guys can see. All right, which I also sent it as a signal. And price, price sometimes will have to do its thing. So after I took the trade, price gave us little profit, started selling, and price wicked us out. You can see this was a very small wick, which is less than 3 pips thereabouts. Okay, price wicked us out here before. Thereafter we had a whole week of bullishness. Okay, so this would have been a nice 1:3 for us. Okay, so this is why it's very important that you also manage your risks in between. Okay, so on USDJPY, just like the same thing I did on the DXY last week, hence why I went for the bullishness on USDJPY. Why is this so? Remember our trading cheat code, which is DXY. All right, the DXY is equal to USDJPY, USDCHF, USD card, and the rest. Okay, so I actually took the trades for USDJPY because that one actually looked cleaner and would be happening soon enough. So, but just unfortunate, price had to wick us up. So moving forward, let's check the weekly time frame to see how price closed for last week. Then we could look for the best levels in which we could be trading these stops from. Okay, so looking at here, price is nicely seated on a very strong resistance. Okay, weekly resistance and monthly resistance right about there, and we can see for the longest, I think since April 2025, price has been creating series of highs, has been on a bullish trend regardless. Okay, price has been on a very nice bullish trend. There was sometime last year I took some nice and USDJPY trades too, which made me good money. All right, which signals were also being sent. So we are very much on a resistance right now. So what does this? These are the kind of trades that I like trading or holding or swinging. Why is this so? Because when one's price is able to break out, I'm looking for a high. Could this be the all-time high for USDJPY? Yes, this actually looks like the all-time high for USDJPY. So this sounds very good for us. So why do I like this kind of trades? Because when one's price is able to break out of such resistance on the higher time frame, we would be going over 1,000 pips to 4,000 pips plus. Okay, so what do you want to see to happen next week? So our next target would be all the way the 161.786. okay, mind you, this is the weekly time frame, so this may take like 3 to 4 weeks or 2 weeks minimum to happen. Okay, it's not going to happen in 1 week, I don't think so. Okay, except you have some fundamentals that may be happening within the week. Okay, so let's go back to our 4-hour time frame. Let's mark out nearest zones or base zones in which you can use to take these trades from. So let me clean this one off. All right, so all what I need to see, I'm going to mark out new zones. All right, I'm going to mark out new zones like so. So all what I need to see is price to give us some pullbacks. All right, more like sell to buy scenarios. Okay, just like the DXY. Okay, price to pull back to these zones of the 175.141. okay, then we should be looking for price. Remember, the next level target is all the way up. Okay, so if that move happens, we should be looking like another 500 pips plus on USDJPY. Like I said, these are the kind of trades I like swinging for the longest. Okay, so if I'm able to snatch any of the entries on USDJPY, or either of you could do that too, especially my mentees. Okay, if you see any of these trades, okay, you can hold it for the longest. All right, and be taking your partials in between. So we should be seeing a sell to buy scenarios. Okay, so I don't really have any immediate resistance here, so we can just do a first level, maybe a round number, which is the 118,500. okay, we could do a first level 18500. Then you can go for 118,500, 19500. okay, every 19500, which is more like 100 pips. All right, so our first level should be the 18500. Next level should be the 18900, like so. All right, so that will be it for this week, guys. If you're still watching this video to this very moment, please do have to smash that subscribe button, like, share, and drop your thoughts on the comment section. Let's know how well the trading has been for you guys, and what are your plans for the trading year 2026. And always do well to drop some fire emoji if you feel what we're doing. And see you guys on the inner circle. Always remember to plan your trades and trade only your plan. Cheers.